12 days of Christmas. I am so glad that you came back today, so we will see what is inside of our boxes. But first, I want to make sure to remind you to check out Rosa, Robyn, and Debbie's channels. I have links to them in the description box below. And I also wanted to mention that this is another design team project for ASC Craft Supplies. I'll leave links to the stores in the description box as well. And my coupon code is Michelle10 for 10% off. And any order $75 or more, you do receive free shipping. So without further ado, we will get started with box number 1. And this is the main event for today. Is I created some SlimLine cards to fit specifically in the box that we created yesterday in the tutorial. And I will do a close-up here of the box. Just love this scene with the deer and the barn and the poinsettias. And you can see the ornaments hanging here in the trees. And I did put some snowflakes and then the number 1 and 1 through 12 on each box. And if I turn it, I think you can see all of the glitter. I hope it shows up. It's really, really pretty. For my SlimLine cards, I did create a gusseted envelope, so I was able to put a little bit of dimension on the front of the card. So I have this really pretty baker's twine, and this is one of the chipboard pieces, and I heavily glittered it to make it look like snow, and I have snow here and there across the card. And I'm trying to, hopefully you can see all of the sparkle. And then when you open the card, I just used a sentiment I had on my stash. I think it's an old Stampin' Up! Merry Christmas. And then the recipient can choose what else they would like to write. So that's the first card. And the second one is very similar. It just says Snow Magic. And once again, the birds and the barn and the mittens, of course, are the theme carried throughout the paper collection. Just a really pretty paper collection, and I did mat it in a scalloped rose gold frame. And on the inside, Merry Christmas, and another one of the gusseted envelopes. And I did put some little twine there on the mittens. The twine just mimics what is shown in the scene. So these were in box number 1. And like I said, they fit perfectly in our box. And number 2, I have some rosettes. I'll just slide this up and lay these out. And I just used some chipboard pieces from the collection, the Let It Snow, the snowflake, the mittens once again, and burr. And I used some eyelash trim as well as cut out some snowflakes and scalloped circles with my Silhouette Cameo to back those. But I love the eyelash trim. It just makes it really fun and festive, I think. And I did put some shred that's white and red in each box. Number 3 has a little bottle with Christmas themed gems. So they're red, green, and clear. So very pretty, I thought. So I wanted to share some of those. And then number 4, I filled it full of little pop dots. So that's what's in there. And number 5, I shared some of the little snowflakes. I get these at Hobby Lobby in the miniature tree decorating section. And I always buy a lot of different things from that section to use in my crafts. And I have a couple friends that I've got hooked on buying that stuff. It is usually such a good deal. And in number 6, I have included some really pretty iridescent pom-poms. And number 7, I included some really pretty trims. As you can see, here's a really pretty white frosted trim and these gorgeous lace trims. So I wanted to share some of my stash as well as some new things. And I love these little Santa hats. I picked these up at Michael's. So I just took them out of the packaging and cut them down so they would fit in the box. So it would be a surprise as she opens them. And in here, I have just put a lot of pop dots. And number 10, we have a sequin mix. And I think it came out really pretty. It has some holly leaves as well as red, green, white, and gold sequins. Some snowflakes and little peppermint candies, as well as some little like looks like diamond pieces. So I was very happy with how that came out. And for this one, this is Spectrum Noir glitter I'm not sure if it's called glitter ink or glitter paint. I'm trying to remember. Sparkle. Glitter ink is what it is. And you shake it, and then I'll just use a paintbrush, and it looks like the alcohol sparkle pens. And I like these better because it's just, I feel like I have more control, because sometimes I'll have to squeeze the pens and it comes out a little more than what I want. And of course I put it in a Ziploc baggie, so if the bottle would leak for some reason, it wouldn't ruin the project. So I'll put that back in later. And finally, the last one has some poinsettias that match the poinsettias on the spine, outside spine of the book, but I love how they came out. And as I mentioned yesterday, I used the Tim Holtz poinsettia die, and the centers are called mini prills. So I love how they came out, and I used glitter to give it some sparkle, and I think that's showing up. So I have 4 flowers. And then I also included some handmade bows, and I did use Cricut Access. This is their double bow, but I think it's such a pretty bow. I love using it. So there's the bows. And then I did include some more flat back pearl trim for my partner, my swap partner. Stay tuned for the tutorial on the SlimLine cards and gusseted envelope. One piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 9 1/4, and that is for our envelope. And we're going to score at 1.5, 1 3/4, 5 3/8, and 5 5/8. Okay, and we'll turn it, and on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 3/4, 7 3/4, and at 8. Okay, so that's for the envelope. I'm just going to set it aside. And for our card base, we're going to turn it to the 7 inch side, and we're going to score it down the middle at 3.5. And so it just folds over like so. I'll move this to the side, and we can crease our card. There we go. Okay, so that's our card base. And I have a piece of the rose gold that I'm going to put here, and it measures, let's see, 3 1/4 by 6 1/2. So it will go right there. Just glue it down. We will get my edge real quick. I'm just going to use the red for a pop around the edge. Okay, so now we will add our decorative paper, and it measures 3 inches by 6 1/4. I think I'm just going to put this chipboard sticker right here. I didn't want to cover the poinsettia up. Make sure that looks straight. Now we can add the centerpiece, or the inside piece, and it is 3 by 6 inches. I'll probably add a little something else. I may just put some more of the little twine bows there because I just think they're so cute, and then add some glitter. So for the envelope, what we're going to need to do is, I'm going to turn it this way. So it has the 1.5 inch piece at the bottom. We are going to want to cut along the score line up until we get to this little one right here. And I'm going to go and cut that piece out. And then I'm going to cut along that one and then leave the inside square. So I've cut all the way to the score line where they intersected. and then I'm just going to take off a little bit, so when we fold it over, it won't be as bulky. So I am, let's see, I'll draw a pencil mark here. You can see it. I hope that helps. So we're going to cut along here again. Until we get to the first score line up here. Then I'm going to rotate it a quarter of a turn and just snip that piece off. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut at the second score line until it meets this one. And then I'm going to trim part of this one off because I don't need all of that tab. I'm going to crease all of our score lines really well. We have this, and we're going to fold our little tiny tabs here in, like so. Just going to fold those in, and we're going to fold these back like so, and then we're going to glue these and then just fold this over. And when we do that, we want to make sure we push this part down so the lid or the flap of the envelope will close nicely. Because if you just close it, it might go past this first score line. So you just kind of gently push it down and make sure it's a nice square here at the bottom. Just lining it up. And do the other side. And then I'll take my bone folder and, like I said, I'm just making it square, making sure that it closes. Looks good. And this side looks good. So I'll run my bone folder inside. And then I will add a piece of 1/4 inch score tape along the top edge so they can seal their envelope. That's how I made my SlimLine card. I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial, and if you have any questions, just reach out to me. I have all of my information in the description box below, and remember to check out Rosa, Robyn, and Debbie to see what they have created for you today. And I will leave the links to ASC Craft Supplies below, as well as my coupon code Michelle10 for 10% off. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.